You have been dating someone special, and it's now time to meet the parents. But your partner is Chinese, and you want to make a great impression at the first dinner. Don't worry, I've got you. Welcome back to the Renaissance. It's Venus. I'm a native speaker of Mandarin and Cantonese, but grew up in the UK. I've been through a similar situation a couple of times, meeting my ex's parents from mainland China. I'm Cantonese, so I also know the etiquette specific to Hong Kong. In today's video, I will guide you in preparing for this special dinner. We'll cover the preparation you need, the phrases that will help, and what will likely happen during the meetup. My boyfriend inspired me to make this video. He's Singaporean and speaks Mandarin, but even him is stressing over the potential cultural differences with my Hong Kong parents. So, I'd imagine for my non-Chinese friends and ABCs, CBCs, and BBCs out there, you guys need resources like this to ease the nerve before meeting the mom and dad. This video might also get you closer to your Chinese parents and grandparents, since it will show you have spent the time to understand their way of living. Just a disclaimer before we dive in. There are many variations in different regions of China, and of course everyone is different. So it will be wise to talk with your significant other before the meetup to better understand the personality of your future in-laws. In the beginning, I want to point out the significance of the meeting to you. You might think it's just a regular dinner, nothing special. That could be the case, but you might have noticed at this point that I keep mentioning future in-laws. Meeting the family is a relationship milestone in a lot of culture, of course. However, in Chinese culture, it sometimes means an inclination to proceed to a higher level of commitment like marriage. It might be a good idea to align with your partner about what this occasion means to them and their family so that you don't walk in with different expectations. However, from a Chinese perspective, the dinner is likely to be a vibe check and a screening process to gain approval from the family. But as any vibe checks or screening goes is both ways, families are often very close-knitted in China, with frequent visits or even living close to each other after you get married. So if you don't get along with their parents, it will be a massive headache for you in the future. And to understand any Chinese family meeting, you have to understand a concept called filial piety. Family blessings are way more important in China than in the West. Filial piety is a cornerstone of Chinese family values, which simply means respect for one's parents and elders. Our culture strongly emphasizes family and social hierarchy, and is largely influenced by Confucius' idea back in the days, or Kongzi as we call him in Chinese. There are ancient stories about this virtue called the 24 filial exemplars, and we call it 24 孝 in Chinese. Some stories even went as far as the protagonist harmed himself in the process of fulfilling this virtue, such as allowing mosquitoes to suck his blood in the hope that they would not bother his parents, or even to the extent of killing his own son so that he could free up his share of the family's food to feed his mother. Just in case you're wondering, we don't do stuff like that anymore, so no need to worry. However, it's still very common in China to give parents a 家用, which is basically a monthly allowance as a sign of gratitude. The next thing you need to know is the differences in communication between the East and West. In the West, we are taught to be straightforward and honest with our opinions. In China, it's more likely for people to use hints and suggestions or euphemism to convey their thoughts of respect and maintain harmony in relationship. Even now as an adult, when I disagree with my parents, they still turn a bit sour because I'm not giving them face, or 面子 as we call it in Chinese. So even if you vehemently disagree with someone, you will just say something like, "Well, that's an interesting point." 那还挺有意思的. Just pretend you were British for a few hours and you're golden. However, there's something weirdly direct that I want to warn you about. There's a high chance, I would say about 80%, and especially from their mom, to comment on your appearance. They might outright call you fat if you're big, or comment on the way you dress, or frown upon the tattoos you have. It annoys me every time, but it's extremely common in China, so it's nothing personal. My mom calls me fat all the time, and to brush it off, I would just say, "Oh, I ate too much," or, "Well, you fed me well." So if it happens, don't take it too hard. But hey, if you're upset about that, do let them know. You don't appreciate that, and they have to adjust. I wish I were more firm about my boundaries and told my mom to stop too. Moving on to the next item, gifts. I can't stress enough the importance of preparing gifts for the family. It's a nice gesture, and they're likely to have a big red packet of cash prepared for you. There's an unspoken expectation of reciprocity. If someone gives you a gift, they expect you to give them something in return. And most Chinese parents will prepare you with something, like I said, a red packet. It's kind of rude in the West for someone to expect a gift in return, but it's just how it works in China. Given that you're not a native of our culture, you're not subjected to the same level of scrutiny. However, it will earn extra points if you prepare something. One good idea would be to give something common in your hometown. For example, if your hometown is famous for honey, give them a jar, which can also serve as a good conversation topic. If you're struggling on what to give your future Chinese in-law, comment down below and I might do a detailed video on the do's and don'ts of Chinese gift giving and the relevant gift topics. Let's talk about Chinese table manners, as you are likely to be dining at a Chinese restaurant, as Chinese parents like to be in their familiar territories. Or even better, they invite you over to their house and the mom is cooking. Anyway, you're likely to be eating Chinese food, so learn to use chopsticks beforehand. This is a good video to get you started. Even if you need a fork or a knife, it shows your initiative to assimilate. If you did succeed with using a pair of chopsticks, note these two things. Never, never, never stick chopstick upright in rice, because it resembles funeral incense which we offer to our ancestors. Super, super bad sign. And another thing is, just don't play with your chopstick or point them or wave them around. Obviously, there's so much more to table manners and etiquette when dining with Chinese people. The video will be way too long if I cover all the points, so let me know in the comments below if that's something that's interesting to you. So in the final section, I will leave you with 5 phrases you can use throughout the dinner. I know some of you have partners who speak Cantonese and some Mandarin, so I will provide you with both versions. I'll do the Cantonese version first, and then for the Mandarin speaker, you can skip to the next section. The first thing is greetings, which basically means auntie and uncle hi in Cantonese. So it goes like this. Auntie, uncle, 你哋好. Auntie, uncle, 你哋好. The second phrase you can say after you present them with your gift, which is 少少心意，不成敬意. 少少心意，不成敬意, which roughly translate to, this is just something small and thoughtful, don't mention it. The third phrase is to say when they compliment you. if they do praise you, which is 邊度係啫? This phrase roughly translates to, well, nothing worth complimenting, you are over complimenting me. Humility is key in Chinese culture. The fourth phrase is for if they keep serving you food, but you're full. So you say this. 啲嘢好好食啊，但係我飽啦。啲嘢好好食啊，但係我飽啦。This means the food is tasty but you're full. Easy. I know, but not quite, right? The last thing is to thank them after the meal. It goes, 多謝晒啊，得閒飲茶。多謝晒啊，得閒飲茶。This literally means thank you, let's get dim sum next time. I know it's not expressing your gratitude exactly, but your inclination to grab dim sum with them shows that you enjoyed their company. Alright guys, this is the Mandarin session, and we will start off by learning how to say the greetings. So it would be 叔叔阿姨您好。叔叔阿姨您好。So this phrase literally means auntie, uncle, hi. 叔叔 is uncle, and 阿姨 is auntie. 您好 is hi in a formal way. To throw in something extra, you can say your name afterwards, which would go something like 我叫 and then your name, 我叫 and then your name. The second thing you can say after you gave them your gift. So it goes something like this. 这是我一点小心意。这是我一点小心意。Which literally translates to this is just my tiny thought. So something thoughtful for you. The third thing would be something you say to respond to a compliment if they do praise you. So it would be 哪里哪里，您过奖了。哪里哪里，您过奖了。The literal translation might be a bit weird because 哪里哪里 literally translate to where. So in Chinglish, it's a bit like where God, as in like, nah, that's not the case. And 您过奖了 means you are over complimenting me. I don't deserve this compliment. Because humility is a big thing in China. And the fourth phrase would be useful if they keep serving you food, but you are full. So it goes something like this. 很好吃，但是我吃饱了。很好吃，但是我吃饱了。The phrase simply means it's really delicious, but I'm full. So it's just a polite way to decline food offering. The final thing I want to teach you is how to thank them after the meal. 谢谢您的招待。谢谢您的招待。This literally translates to thanks for your hospitality. And I'm sure they will be over the moon to hear you say that. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Kudos to you for your effort in preparing for this special occasion. I'm sure your partner and their family will be touched. If you found this video useful, give it a thumb up and subscribe for more upcoming tips on navigating Chinese culture. Share your experiences or questions in the comments below to support each other on this journey. Report back and give each other tips to impress the Chinese parents. Enough from me today. I hope you're well and safe wherever you are. Until next time.